Okay. We are live today, and today I'm going to interview Marayan. He's a hypnotherapist, and he went through the Magnetic Mastermind experience with me for 4 months. And he actually healed his relationship with marketing and built a long-term strategy that he can now consistently use in his hypnotherapy business. And in the time that he worked with me, he also created an extra offer. He signed 7 premium clients, and he's going to talk a lot about his experience in the Magnetic Mastermind today, how it was for him. Marayan, can you maybe give a short introduction of who you are, what you do, what your offer is about?
Yeah, so my name is Marayan. Marayan Beyond is my pseudo surname. And this is because, to fully step into our own power, we have to go beyond a lot of things. We have to go beyond our own ego. We have to go beyond that wounded child, beyond our inner man, beyond our inner woman. We have to go beyond our whole old identity. So this is what I'm, first of all, very passionate about in my own development, and this is what, of course, I'm bringing to my own clients in the hypnotherapy and psychotherapy. And for that, I have a big program so that I can promise big change and a lot of progression.
Yeah, and I think we're going to talk a bit more about the exact program later on as well, and also how you changed it a little bit while working with me. And maybe it's good to start, where were you before you started working with me? And I'd like to add there as well that we also met in person on Tenerife. We became friends, and that's when you actually joined the Magnetic Mastermind. So it was a beautiful journey for us also to get to know each other. But share a little bit about where you were with your hypno business and like what was going on for you in that time.
Well, at that time, I just came back from a long travel in South America. I was with a tribe there to do ayahuasca, and during the travel, I realized that, so I was traveling around there, and after my journey in the jungle, I was having this idea of, I just buy a small camper van here, and I will just travel around in that, and that's gonna cost me very little money. So then I have full freedom. And then when I sit with that, when I dived a bit deeper into myself and I became a bit more honest with myself, I discovered that I was actually still running away from something. So I was running away from my hypnotherapy business because I finally finished the whole course, which is a 1-year program, which is very intense, cost a lot of energy and money and effort. And then when I finally rounded up, I had already quite some clients, and still I was running away from the business side of it to really make it into a business. And I just didn't want that. I felt a lot of resistance against that. My whole life I felt resistance against that. So therefore, when I realized that, of course, I could only decide to just come back to Tenerife and focus fully on that. So I was doing that. It went very good.
And what do you mean when you said it went really good? Like, how many clients were you working with? What were you doing in your business?
Well, what went very good is just I was stepping in that power, in that commitment of, okay, I'm just going to do this. This was before, at one point.
Around the time we would meet.
Yeah, around the time we would meet. And what I mean was going good was it felt good to step into the power of being honest and, hey, there is a fear here. And I'm going to just break through it. I'm going to face that. That feels really good. I mean, I just did a lot of work on myself. So it feels always very good to just feel confronted with fears and resistance, and it's good. It's good.
Yeah, I like that. I think also for most of the clients that I work with, they have covered most of that path in their life. They are working on themselves. They are doing the right things to get to the person that they want to become. But then the business side of things sometimes is not there yet. And how was that for you? Where were you in your business and like being confronted with that you were running away from it? What were you already doing on your own?
Well, what I was doing already was it was just automatically, because I'm also organizing a lot of offline events on Tenerife, ayahuasca ceremonies and singing cacao ceremonies, all that stuff. And from there, I always meet a lot of people. And because it's such a trustful environment, then they feel already a lot of trust. So that bridge then to start a hypnotherapy program with me is it goes very naturally. Now, the part I was running away from was to actively do promotion, or that's just it felt uncomfortable. And I was posting things, but I was or trying way too hard, which also doesn't give a very nice feeling. Or I was just posting just for my own fun, which then was not actually really promotion.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just didn't really know what I was doing, basically.
Yeah. And then we met. And what changed for you there?
And then we met, and then yeah, you have a very great energy. So I resonated just a lot with your energy. That was just the main thing. And I always make decisions based on that. And then that energy was just very good. And I was feeling like, well, if I can just have this kind of energy in my whole business, I have this already, like when I work with clients and when I'm just myself, you know, I'm very much in that same energy and motivation and future oriented and facing life, you know. And yeah, so then when we started to speak about business side of things, I naturally went very quickly came together. First, I was being a little bit resistant and thinking like, okay, I will just do this in a few months, maybe when I feel I really need it. And then you were, yeah, saying something like, well, just, yeah, this is okay, but why not just do it now? And I couldn't really give a good answer on that. So then, yeah, let's just do it now.
Yeah, I love that. It went really fast from that point. And I think what you mentioned as well in the beginning, or just like a moment ago, about I am just like that when I'm being like myself. But then looking at marketing and the business side of things, it didn't feel as a part of you. And maybe it is weird to say about myself, but for me, business and marketing, that is my passion. And that's where I'm really myself. And I think people look at me sometimes and they're like, yeah, but she has great energy. She can do all these things. For her, it's natural. But I also had to learn and grow and discover all these things that you're mentioning, like what do you post? How do you post it? How do you show up? Not even just online, because also offline, you can use all the principles that I teach. But it is about learning how to actually do it. And then being yourself while doing that. Because if you're just copying a coach and just copying a strategy, it might still not be resonant for you. And I think that was also one of the reasons why you resonated with my work, because I remember you said that in your hypnotherapy course, there was actually a part about sales, and that's why you were actually already selling, because a lot of people who do a certificate, and I think the program that you did to become a hypnotherapist is really special in that way, because not a lot of hypnotherapists actually leave their program knowing how to sell at least a little bit already. And you already had some skills, but then looking at how I approach sales and marketing, you instantly picked up on some things that really resonated with you about high vibe messaging and making the other person want to qualify themselves. I remember you said something about a really small change that you saw when you booked in a sales call with me, where it was about if that person who filled in the form was actually wanting and willing to invest in themselves. Can you talk a bit about that difference of the approach that you were already using and what you saw in my approach that you wanted to learn more about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for there, I also want to be clear that what I was using was, of course, still my take on what this other program was giving me, in the same way that I have now my own take on what you gave me, right? So this is good to always keep in mind. But what I was doing was still coming from the feeling of, yeah, really trying to get people on board and to make it as easy as possible for them to get on the sales call. That was my first thing of like, I don't want to put any limitations there. So not, yeah, make it as easy as possible. But then of course you get people on the sales call that are not actually willing to invest or not willing to actually do the work, or they just come to try out something, which is not the people I want to work with. I want to work with people that are, if they feel a full on yes, and I feel a full on yes with them, then we take the next step, and then we're going to work together, and not, not 70%.
Yeah.
So I guess that is the big change. And before I would I would also settle for way
Anyone.
less. Anyone.
Yeah. Okay. Love that. That's an amazing shift. And if you talk
Yeah.
about more tangible results that you had working with me, I know you had 7 clients in the 4 months, but you also did some things with your offer. Can you share a bit about what type of clients you signed, how that went, like the really tangible results that you got from or while being in the course?
Yeah. Well, I think what was for me very, very good to experience was that we often, or I was also getting very much caught up in the idea of that it matters a lot how I'm doing it, and how I write it, and it has to be perfect before I put it out. And this is just bullshit, of course. And this is what you teach very clearly, is just do it, just put it out there, and just keep rolling, and people will see it, and people don't have to like it, but they will still see it, and it will still move something. And that's what I started to notice as well. What we did in the beginning, it was even just like some market research, and yeah, from that, I think, well, there were at least came some people that were interested. I got at least 1 client or maybe 2 out of that. And yeah, that gave me a nice motivation of, okay, it's more important just what I like, that I do it.
I think also I remember now, while you're talking about the market research, you are one of the easiest one to go through the program and do the messaging, which I help with in the Magnetic Mastermind, to really get clear on your messaging. And you already had this vision about from scarcity to abundance. And if people are listening to this who are like, that sounds really vague. Yes, it does. And sometimes I tell my clients it's too vague, we cannot do this. But for you, you had such a clear vision of what it means to you, because you fully embodied that whole experience. And that's the thing also with messaging. If you are not clear what it means yourself, then it's not good enough. But if you're very clear, like, this is scarcity, this is abundance, this is the journey that I take people on, then it is good enough, because you understand, and by you understanding means that you can explain it to other people. And I got to support you a little bit in that process, but most of it you actually already knew, and it was just using the templates that I had, or like the worksheet that I gave you. And then I think halfway through the program, you had another download, which also happens to a lot of my clients, where they get a download of a deeper, profound understanding of the work that they do. Maybe you can share also about how my program impacted you to become a better hypnotherapist in the process. But what I wanted to highlight there was that you were a little bit confused. Like, can I still use the same messaging because everything changed? But it didn't all change. It was really you who felt that change from within, but how you were presenting yourself up until that point was already in alignment. And of course, there are some tweaks that you can do to make it stand out even more. And the embodiment and the energy behind it became a lot stronger in how you presented yourself. But yeah, that was just something that really stood out to me as well while working with you, that you had so much clarity already from within.
Yeah, and the clarity came really from within, meaning that it was really from my own experience. And I think that's the big shift, right? Because this same thing, you read it everywhere in different words, like from I call it from survival mode into celebration mode. You call it from I think from survivor to hero or something like this, right? But if it comes from your own experience, then it's super powerful. And this was coming from my own experience in my own personal process, where I had a clear moment where I realized, well, wait a minute, if I would die now and I have only been successful in surviving life, which meaning I was just able to stay alive, this is not what I want. I want to be able to say I celebrated life to the fullest. And celebration, I mean, not confetti and ecstatic all the time, but it's about fully embracing the deepest truth that is always there, which is the truth that you're always safe, that you're always loving and love, and that you're always powerful. And it's just a lot of layers around that that make you believe that it's not like that. But the deepest truth is always there. So the big shift was there, that my messaging before already I met you, and my messaging was that I help people to reach celebration mode, to help them elevate out of survival mode into celebration mode. But my vision was that is then at the end of the course, at the end of my program. And somewhere halfway, and that is of course when you're really sitting with it, you're writing different things, you're going over it, you're thinking about it. I'm doing other plant medicine as well, so you get a lot of clarity, and all of a sudden it switched into, oh, but wait a minute. I start immediately with clients, actually. I first make them shift into celebration mode, because you don't need to heal anything to make that shift. This is a mental mind shift. But what happens when you are in celebration mode, being safe, being loving, being powerful, even though you don't fully feel that, you just acknowledge that that is the truth. From there, you have so much more energy available to elevate and to reach your full potential.
Yeah,
or what
I
I
love that.
discovered with you as well, like as friends, because you're also now doing the hypnotherapy program.
Yes,
And there
I
we
also
also
joined your
discovered
program.
that. There we also discovered, like, you can have on a scale of 1 to 10 your happiness or your how confident you are. That can be on a scale of 1 to 10, but as long as that is in survival mode, then you can reach, for example, a 7 or an 8. But if all of a sudden you step in celebration mode, your whole measurement goes then from 1 to 20 or 30. And then all of a sudden 8 is, you're on the low side.
And how would you say that the Magnetic Mastermind helped you express around your offer better and actually explain to people what it is that you do for them?
Yeah, it helped me just, first of all, getting more clarity around it, and keeping it very simple, because I tend to overcomplicate things. So in the rest of my life, I learned to not overcomplicate things, but then still marketing, that felt like, oh, I made it everything so complex. I remember I was doing simple exercises that you gave, but then because it's a written exercise, there's some traumas from school coming up, and I would just fully black out, and I was like, I have no idea how to do this.
Yeah.
And then just coming back to you, and then seeing again the simplicity, and then okay, I actually know this thing. I'm super aware of this already. So how it helped me, I think it just mostly helped me having this space to face the struggles, then I resolve them again, and really go through all that stuff, and to sink back into the simplicity as always.
Yeah, and you also
simple.
created another offer, right? So you had your offer that was kind of structured in a way of, I think in the beginning it was 3 months, but when we started working was already 6 months. And you were doing one-on-one sessions every week, but you added something on top of that, right? Or another option.
Yeah, so this also became very clear while I was working with you. Before, I was working with clients for 3 months. And even though in 3 months you can resolve a lot of things, it's still a bit on the short end for long-term progress. So in 3 months is kind of the, how you say that, is like the tilting point. So that's why I extended it. I made it a longer program for 6 months, because after 6 months, what I see now is when clients, they do 6 months, they are so familiar with the process that I don't need me
And
anymore.
how did the Magnetic Mastermind help you with the changes in your offer that you did?
Is the way how you present your own course, your own program, your own structure within it, that inspired me first of all a lot. And
And what specifically? Because like I know how it is, you know how it is, but
Sorry, yeah.
yeah, the mastermind, of course, is a group setting, but it's also a lot of one-on-one. But your program right now is only one-on-one still. But I know in the future you want to make some changes in that as well.
Yeah. So there's things that you are doing, and then of course, like in your course, I think we're going over different examples of what you can do. So yeah, just things of making like also transitioning to group settings, offering smaller workshops as a preparation for a program, having like an, so I call it then a silver edition for people that have maybe less money to spend, but I still want to give them a lot of impact. So I make it still a 6-month program, but there's just less one-on-one and more self-study material, and a bronze version with, yeah, so all different packages that you were offering, as in like showing example of what you can do. And I picked out a few that resonate with me, and in the future I will keep expanding that.
Yeah, so it's also the exposure to all the different types of offers and how you can create offers and what works for you, and to just play around with that. And I think one of the things that also stood out to me was in the beginning when we were working together, you said something about, but I have to be with them every week. I have to do a one-on-one session, because we were talking about creating a downsell offer that you could offer to people who weren't ready for the big program yet. And then there was a mind shift in you as well around how it actually is possible for a hypnotherapist that you can do bi-weekly sessions, but also you started to create this library where you were leveraging things that you already created and creating more things to actually add more value for your clients without adding more of your own time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was one of the biggest shifts I saw in you.
Yeah. And that feels like a big relief as well, no? That I can give the same or similar kind of transformation without being always one-on-one with them.
Yeah.
I start to experience that now through something new that I'm developing, which is the dance lab, where I mix in actually hypnotherapy with dancing.
Beautiful
So it
combination.
feels way more light. It feels like an ecstatic dance. But then during the dance, I guide them through a hypno session. And it's really, I was even surprised about the results, how impactful it was. Like people were feeling at the end like, oh, this feels like just a full-on ayahuasca ceremony.
Beautiful.
Because it feels so light. So they're so surrendered to it. And then I give this guidance during the dance, let them dance from their inner child or from their inner man, or dancing a story about how they learn to take care of their own inner child and all that things. And it was very powerful to see how in a group that can still work, they don't have to respond per se. And it actually amplifies it because there are other people around you that are going through the same process. So yeah, now I want to also see if I can make a bridge to bring that then back online somehow. And I'm sure that
so then
will
the shifts that you also made, you're creating more offers, but also your view on marketing in the whole course, you started with a lot of resistance, but how did that change for you? Because I know that at some point we were at a festival and you said something about how musicians and DJs actually have this whole gold mine of options if they would understand marketing. So that's when I noticed, okay, there is a shift happening. Can you share a bit more about how you look at marketing and sales now compared to in the beginning?
Well, in the beginning, I just was getting nauseous from it. And now I see that comes just from a not understanding, not really comprehending what it is. And now I am, now I do know what it is. I try to avoid the word understanding, because for me that has like some hierarchy in to stand under, but this is a different topic. But yeah, so what's shifted there? Yeah, the knowing, comprehending what I'm doing. So because what I do naturally in offline events is being authentic, right? Being authentic and being myself. and then people feel a deep connection and trust to work with me. Now online, that felt for me impossible to do that, and now I see, okay, online you can do the same. Then you just need to know a bit more clear how to do that and what people do when they open their phone, because it's mostly lazy scrolling. That is the client. So this is a very different type of focus. So you have to get them hooked. And yeah, now I'm playing around with it way more freely. I enjoy it. I make videos just very quickly because I don't have to do it perfect anymore. And it's fine. And I have some structure in it, and it all looks just way more professional. I got last week a message from my brother who was like, "Oh, Marayan, I'm very proud of you. It starts to look very professional, the whole Instagram thing."
Oh, I love
So
that.
that's nice. And it's, it's kind of a paradox of like, I start to care less about the effect, and therefore like the effect just becomes better somehow.
I always compare it with when you're doing yoga for the first time, you need to pay attention to the teacher, but then after a while, you need to listen to your body and what works for you. And with you, we also looked a lot into the customer journey, and both also for offline events, because what I teach is not limited just to online, but really to see the customer flow of what happens when somebody is in your offline event and what happens then when they book a call, because we also noticed some of those people actually weren't ready for the call yet. And having your Instagram ready, having your social media platform ready enhances the journey even of the people who come from offline. So it's all interconnected. Have you also felt that shift in the people that you met that now easily or more easy say yes to joining your program?
I don't know if that is in any way, I don't know how much it is connected with the online presence, because I still have the feeling that the people that I meet offline, I don't see them so interacting much with me like on Instagram.
They do follow you or they don't?
Yeah, but I see that I still make that first call as soon as possible. But still they are way more prepared.
Yeah, we did a deep dive on that, right? How does it go from booking the call and
the big change is there that I'm not trying to hide anymore, like the length of the program or roughly the price or any kind of things. It's just I'm more clear.
Yeah,
myself.
like giving them the information that they need to make the decision.
Yeah. So they are obviously less surprised on the call.
That's good. That's a good knowing, because like what I teach is also a lot about taking the pressure away from the sales call and not having somebody there that you kind of like, I wouldn't say pressure, because even when you already were doing wasn't pressuring them, but there is this moment where somebody hears the price for the first time and they're like, oh my God, and they need to be a little bit prepared. And that's something you can do in the framework of your sales call, but it's also something you can already do in the journey leading up to the sales call. And I like just to round up that whole part about what were the results from you in the mastermind. Of course, you signed 7 clients, you changed your offer, or you added an extra offer as well. Are there like and the mindset shifts we also just talked a bit about with the marketing? Are there any other things that you would like to add around mindset or like non-tangible results that you really take with you on the long term in your business?
No, it's really just this, that there's the resistance is just yeah, well, maybe not 100%, but it's now, well, this is the big shift, and this is the big shift that I see with my clients as well. That is a constant thing, right? Like, yeah, yes, there is sometimes still some resistance, but now when it comes up, I naturally check where it comes from, and I have now the experience that all the resistance that was there is gone. So that little bit of resistance that comes up, there's no reason to think that it will stay. So it gives a lot of confidence and power. And this is what I see with clients as well. They just, it's not about getting rid of emotions, right? It's not about rid of getting triggers. They will get less, but then even on top of that, when that trigger comes up, they are just so familiar with the process that it comes up and it's like, oh, interesting, there's still something there, let me check what it is. And that
so you would
makes
say,
life,
like with the magnetic mastermind, you maybe had more tools to actually know, okay, this is what I can do, this is how it works, this is how I can do my marketing. And because of the clarity and the confidence, or because of the clarity and the things that are possible, there came more confidence, and also the resistance became less.
yeah, they all go together. Yeah.
Awesome. And what was it like working with me? What did you really love about working with me?
Yeah, for me, I really like that you're very direct and very honest, very clear, no bullshit, pointing out whenever you see bullshit. I think this is a very good skill, and this is again something that this is how I work as well. So I just got a lot of inspiration from you, slash just resonance, and yeah, you always have a positive, uplifting, motivative energy. You always know how to explain the questions that are coming. Yeah, you managed quite some times in the process where I was just stressing myself the whole week, and then on one of the calls or say or whatever, you would, yeah, there was many times where you could calm me down again and brought me back on the seat, on the horse, to just, oh yeah, okay, we're just going forward, just keep going forward.
I love that. Yeah, just going in the right direction, because you are going anyway. You're doing all the things, and whether it's putting all your energy into overthinking or putting all your energy in taking that one little next step that actually stops the overthinking, that makes all the difference. And in the future, what do you see available for yourself right now with what you set up for the long-term strategy in the next 6 to 12 months? Because of the work that we did together, like what do you see for yourself in your business now?
You mean in like 1 year from now picture, you mean, or longer?
Yeah, let's do 1 year.
Yeah, just okay. Well, so this is mixing a lot. I mean, you helped me with this as well. It at the end, this was not only for my hypnotherapy business, but you also motivated me to finally go to the recording studio and record my songs, and that are now on Spotify, and just being more strict with goal setting and actually really doing it. And then I have now the third wheel, which is the dance lab. So
maybe take a little step back and explain to everybody what type of artist you are and where they can find you.
Yeah.
Clearing the stage.
Okay. Yeah, so they can find me on Spotify, Marayan Beyond. And they can find me, my main platform is on Instagram for now, is Marayan Beyond Survival. And yeah, so there's so many different things that I'm doing, and they all felt very separated, and now they are starting to really merge together, which is the hypnotherapy business. I come from theater. My theater was my first education, so this is coming back into the game now. My music is lifting off. I have now this new workshop that I'm so passionate about, where it's more embodiment and dance and hypnotherapy coming together. I'm getting more and more invited on places to just speak about things, about life, about whatever. And yeah, they start to really come together. So in 1 year, I can really see how how that is merged together. I can just not say how it's going to be merged together, but it's going to be merged together in something.
And
So
I love, I just remembered when we started in the first part of messaging and the first week of working together, it already became more clear. Like for me, it was very clear that this was all interconnected, but for you, I knew you didn't see that vision yet. And you also had 3 different Instagram accounts, right? A long time ago.
Oh, the mess, so mess. It caused so much stress. And then Facebook and Instagram, they were not like, it was not connecting, and it was a mess, and I didn't know, and stressing, and I couldn't get it to work. And then you said like, yeah, just delete them and just bring it all together to one. It was, okay,
Yeah, that was one of the very practical ways where I made your life a lot simpler.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, more like combining everything and what I already feel, because you didn't say this, but for who's listening, like your music is very connected with what you do in the hypnotherapy. It's music medicine. It's really beautiful, uplifting music that helps you go from survival to celebration. So if that's the type of music that you're looking for, check him out, because I know there are not that many artists right now that have that vibe. And if you would say something right now to somebody who's considering joining the Magnetic Mastermind, what would you say to that person?
Do it if you really want to, if you're really ready to step into the center of your life and take your business really to the direction that you want to take it to. But it has to come with this strong commitment. And when there is this strong commitment, yeah, then this is an amazing program for them.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, my clients definitely need to have that fire from within. And if they feel it when they're engaging with me and when they're like looking at my stuff, then that's a good sign that I can activate them even more. And then I have all the tools and the structure to make them move, but they need to bring it. That's it. They need to bring it themselves. They need to be willing, and then I can show the path.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and this counts for hypnotherapy as well, right? This is
Coaching.
That is where we resonate a lot. Like we cannot work with people that are not, that want us to do the work for them.
Yeah.
And whether that is about hypnotherapy or business coaching, it's really the same idea. We can only guide them.
And that's something that one of my signature methods, the high vibe messaging, which we didn't talk much about here, but it is so much in line with my work, with Marayan's work, about activating people to feel empowered and to take those steps, and not to push or pressure them into working with you because they need to survive, but really because you're already showing them what it is to have abundance, to celebrate life, to be the hero of your own story. And also for those reasons, because of my work and of the work that you do, I resonated a lot with your work as a hypnotherapist. And actually, I joined your program. I'm still in your program, so we're making a lot of shifts, and I'm shifting even more. And I'm gonna give the stage to you to share a little bit about where they can find you, but also for those who are hearing this, it's not just about people who are constantly in surviving mode, because I'm definitely not, but I really want to celebrate more. And one of the biggest examples where I saw how you embody your own work is you are most of the time in celebration mode, but then obviously we are multidimensional persons. We have all these different stories and sidelines of how we go through life. And one of your topics that was very heavy was marketing and was business. And you really understood that. And you also used my tools, but also your own tools to really shift from the survival towards celebration within marketing. And I saw that, and that really inspired me. And that got me also really excited to work with you on me shifting even more in celebration mode and using that in all different areas of my life. Because what you do in one area of your life is it always shows in the other areas as well. So you will probably feel this and recognize this as well. By healing your relationship with sales and marketing, you actually felt more alive and more celebrating in other areas as well.
Yeah.
So that's what we are also working on for me, to just find these places where it's still a little bit surviving mode and shift it and just constantly go to that next level. So yeah, that's why I'm a big fan of the work that we do together. If people would like to work with you, where can they find you? What would be the next step for them to contact you?
Yeah, so just to round that part up quickly, yeah, because in survival mode, the moment that you're in survival mode, you're basically following a lie. There is some lie that you're taking still serious that make you not fully see your true power. So you're giving away some power. So this is really what this celebration mode means, acknowledging that true essence that you are. So yeah, so if you want to work more with that, to have amazing, quick and tangible tools to make that shift constantly into celebration mode, and then at the same time diving deep into yourself to find all these parts inside you that are not yet on your team. That is basically what's happening. There's all these little parts that are maybe still a lot in some pain, in survival. There's some parts that are somewhere hiding in the shadow, and it's really, the process is about getting all them back together into one big family or on one big team where you are the coach, but they all work together. And this happens in like, the healing journey is very simple. This is my big passion, to make people really understand and really see that the healing journey is super, super, super simple. It's not easy, but it's just simple. As long as you take the steps, you're going to get there. There's nothing that can stop you from that, as long as you keep going. So
same with business, by the way. If you keep going, if you keep implementing, if you keep improving, and you're not giving up, it's going to happen eventually. If you get the right support, if you keep going, that's life. You can only lose if you really give up.
I mean, it's a beautiful game. It's not, we're not playing a business game and a therapy game, and this is just the game of life.
Yeah.
So yeah, play it in the fullest. And yeah, what I want to, like, if people are still watching right now, like, and in the recording,
or watching the replay,
if they managed it till here, then I want to give a spontaneous discount for people that are then gonna follow me after this, and they can then so on Instagram, on Marayan Beyond Survival, with dots in between them.
I will put the links also by the replay here, but it's good to mention them for where it's on the websites where people are watching it as well. Yeah,
and they can follow it, and then they can share my favorite post on their story and put the hashtag celebration activation. And if they do that, then I will pick one of those people out, and they get a 60% discount on my 6 months program, which is a huge...
It's very long. I do want to let you know that most people will be watching this replay. So I don't know if you want to put like a deadline to this, or just whenever.
Yeah, let's say like 1 week from now. So 1 week, so on Tuesday, I will write it down. So I'm gonna do...
Okay, so
on Tuesday for 1
Tuesday,
week.
19th of September.
Yeah.
And so then it will be the 26th, I think. Not sure.
26. That sounds good. Yeah, 26. Yeah.
Awesome.
26.
Okay, I will put the link here that they can find it, and if they are confused, they can just send you a message. If they are looking at this later and they want to join, they can just send you a message that they want to join. If somebody is watching this and they want to join the Magnetic Mastermind, that's also possible. Right now, the next round is starting the 1st of October, and it depends on when you're watching this. But if you're watching this later and you're watching it, you want to see when the next round is starting, you can go to pleasureandselling.com/magnetic. That's the place that you can go to anyway for a little bit more information and for the application form. And what happens if you fill in the application form is that I can see if you're a good fit, because we really screen everybody that comes through. They need to be at a certain level already where they're either selling to clients, but maybe they want to raise their prices or create a premium offer. So they have worked with clients before, or you are actually already selling a premium offer, but you want more consistency, different strategies, just really upgrading your business strategies. And if that is you, go check out the page. You can also just send me a message saying magnetic, and we take it from there and we talk a bit about your specific situation. And basically the Magnetic Mastermind is really for you if you want to have that clarity in your business, to have strong messaging, to have the offer and the offer creation part as well, or upgrading the offer that you're currently selling, or adding another offer or more offers. And then really also building a long-term sales strategy that works for you and that gets you excited to show up for your business and to play with business and to not have this heavy feeling around it. And we have a really high vibe community. Marayan was in it before. He's not right now because he already graduated. But if you feel this calling, if you are excited about this, reach out to me, fill in the application form. The application form does not mean that you're already committing. It means that you might get accepted. Hopefully you do, because that means you're in a really good place already. And even when you get accepted, you still get to decide if you're going to join. And I also will share with you, like I will ask you questions, get to know you a little bit better and see if you're actually a good fit, because we want you to make the best decision for you if you're going to join. And right now, I think until Friday, there is a special fast action taker bonus. If you join now, if you fill an application form, you get a discount code if you say the word mango in the application form. So this is just my favorite fruit. That's why I chose this word. But if you fill in the word mango, I will know that you're applying for this discount. It's until Friday. I do not know the date exactly now, but it's now the 19th. But put in mango and I will know you get this discount. And that's it for this interview. Thank you so much, Marayan, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you too.
Yeah.